smoked for this.
Everyone lost their minds, but not because they're like, he's a misogynist, because they're too stupid to extrapolate. Because I say something abrasively to shock people, and the intelligent ones will look at what I say and extrapolate the lessons from it. Like we talk about the Bible. You read the parable, but you have to sit down and analyze what it actually means.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is female promiscuity. If women had to be far more careful and more selective with who they slept with, this would inspire masculine excellence now. You can't be a loser with a little bit of weed and get a chick over the house. You have to be a better version of a man. You have to be the kind of man who can provide for her if she gets pregnant, for her to even consider sleeping with you, because that number is going to go up and she's going to be judged for it. And women don't like being judged. Women are very, very susceptible to societal pressure and peer pressure and judging.
Same with men.
Same with men, but women even more.
Because men are not going to want to be with a girl who has 468 numbers.
100%. So now men are like, I want a low number. She doesn't want to add to her number. I better be better. I better be better. Now when someone gets together, they're going to stay together. They don't want to mess up their numbers, right? They're going to stay together. They're going to stay together.
Well, and you're also going to be more selective in who you get with to begin with. And that's a major problem, you know, with this hookup culture. I call it slut culture. And when I say slut culture, I don't mean just women. Of course, y'all are being misandric. Just because I'm a man saying slut, you're automatically assuming that I'm talking about women, which I'm talking about everybody. Everybody up in this motherfucker.
As a family, they're going to be more prepared to sit, talk through things, work things out. No longer divorce anymore.
The church holds this. Islam holds this.
Absolutely.
Because in Islam and in Christianity, when you go to church or you go to the temple, right? What are the main...
I find it very amusing that they keep intentionally leaving out of Judaism.
main thing that they fear is God, but they also fear how other people are looking at them.
100%.
When my mom used to come to church and go, hey, don't embarrass me around these people.
100%.
So I had to behave. I'm like, all right, I don't want to represent my family the wrong way.
Completely. Peer pressure can go positively as well as negatively. So when I said this, I got attacked for being a misogynist, but no one understood what I'm actually talking about is couples coming together, working together, masculine excellence, and removing promiscuity. So that you get to a point where a lot of problems are fixed. What did you just say about prisons and fatherless homes? Wouldn't having that fix the fatherless homes? Now we fix the prison population. You can extrapolate this out towards fixing the entire society.
Well, I mean, like you said earlier, too, though, all the extra laws in America, you know, the more laws you have, the more criminals you're going to make inherently. But that all circles back around to what I said is the brighter your freedom shines, the more that attracts tyranny to suffocate it.
But I make the point and nobody listens to what I say. They just lose their minds because they're emotional. But it's but it is.
No, that's really funny.
But it's amazing how you can extract out from that one point I made.
But you could have made the same point in a loving way.
I could have.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So then we have to.
But that goes back to Tate Dunn said he likes to be abrasive. You know, he likes to just come out and say it. He don't like to sugarcoat shit. And I feel you, homie.
Ask why I don't.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Because I think that's your next journey. Because I think I think this is what happened. You knew step one was to get famous, and the only way to get
George Janko enacting a rebrand over here. Rebranded up, Janko.
famous is to piss people off.
I did pretty good.
You did a fantastic job.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, your next season now is to group in the rest of the sheep.
Yeah, of course.
And I say sheep in a good.
Sheep. This is something people don't think about a whole lot. What does a shepherd raise sheep for? To cull, to use, to kill, to eat. Okay. Just maybe think about that for a second.
Good way. Trust me, it's a biblical term. I think right now you need to win the hearts of some females that disregard you completely. Because I had this conversation with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's like, hey, listen, he says this, he says that. I go, okay, you gotta think about what they're...
All these bitches, though, that talk shit on Tate, if they were around him for 5 minutes, they'd be on their knees. I'm just saying. 99% of these bitches talking shit on Tate. I'm alone with them for 2 minutes.
So we had to sit down and watch a podcast, and then like, baby's trolling here. Yeah. And she goes, well, I don't understand that he's trolling here. Why would he be trolling here? Why is he talking so serious here? Yeah. But then he's joking around here.
Yeah, of course.
So I think, honest to God, I really do. I think
because you're allowed to do that, because we have the freedom of expression.
Your next journey is going to even be bigger, because now you're going to have to figure out a way to talk to other people without pissing them off.
And I can do it.
For this episode,
I can do it.
Explain to me in a way that you get the same result of...
And I can do it. It's just not as much fun. Me too. I hear you, Tate. I have a filter. I can use a filter. It's just not nearly as much fun. And I feel like it impedes my expression, my freedom of expression.
The numbers
It's
thing.
like school.
And since I'm not a sin worshiper, I don't hold that against me.
Without using the numbers thing, what could we do to get women to use their numbers lower without disrespecting them and saying, hey, go outside and put your number up?
Of course, and just a point I'll make, I don't think it's
No, Tate was making a very valid point right there. If bitches walked around with their numbers on their fucking everyone, not just bitches, everyone walked around with their numbers on their forehead, then the world would be a lot more honest, much more of an honest place. But I don't know a nicer way you could say it. What he's pretty much saying is just be more selective with who you fuck around with, you know? Don't go running off being a trick ass hoe, is what I'm getting out of it.
disrespectful. I think it was just a thought experiment, but I understand what you're saying. I can say it a far easier way.
Do you know why I'm doing this, by the way? Because I want to vouch for you, and I want to vouch for Trump, and I want to vouch for people that I do believe in, but it's really fucking hard when you're going around saying, these bitches need to have fucking numbers on their head, and I'm like, motherfucker, dang, stop saying that! You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to vouch for you, so if I have to come out here and literally come out here, fly out 16 hours, I want to sit here and say, dude, I am with you, but I'm trying to be with you, waving my morals and my integrity, to bring in even the people that we think are stupid. They're still worth saving.
Oh, completely understand, and I'm also very prepared and aware that I can say things in a far nicer way. I agree with you. It's not accidental. I am aware of it.
You already achieved what you needed to achieve.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's something I said a long time ago, but I was just explaining the point behind it.
But it's a strong message, so how do we get that message out without pissing them off?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, I think when you tell a woman, but you know what?
There you go, George. You just worded it just perfectly right there. That is how you ask him to get the point across, you know? You don't tell him to say it nicer. You ask him, how can we say it just a little bit nicer so that more people will understand? You nailed it, Georgie.
Interesting. It's really interesting, and I want to make this point. There is a very vocal minority, especially on the internet, of feminists and left-wing psychos. I'm telling you, if I say to a woman, being promiscuous is disgusting, 95% of women go, yes. It's only these 5% of idiots you see going, I can do whatever I want. I'll sleep with 100 guys if I want. And then we sit and go, oh, women.
Tonight too.
Think that way. Women are not actually as broken as society is showing them to be on the internet, thank God. They're not that bad. Because trust me, most women know that. In fact, women know that so intrinsic.
I don't know, maybe it's been a while since you spent much time in America there, Tate, but it's hard to find a good one in America, Tate.
In their hearts. If you see a woman insult another woman, what does she call her? A whore. Slap.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day. All these bitches, you say ho, oh, you being a misogynist, but the first time they get pissed off at another female, you fucking hoe. You know I'm right.
It's the first word out of her mouth. You slut. It's the first thing women do, because women know that's how you insult a woman. So even the bad women who run around having arguments with other women, who are promiscuous themselves, use promiscuity as an insult. Most of the world actually understands this. It's only the Western world with us, this very broken vocal minority. And these people always come to terms and learn that they were wrong.
And the victim is the most powerful player in America right now. And that's being taken advantage of. But that's also, that victimhood is being propped up by the elites, okay, in order to push their agendas through.
As they were older, it's just unfortunate they have to learn the hardest possible way. I don't think there's any woman out there who said with 100 guys who's happy she's done it. It's sad. She got psyoped by society. She probably had no dad at home, no masculine role model, no one guided her. She got psyoped by society into thinking that having sex with men is somehow going to be empowering. And she's woke up one day and looked in the mirror and she hates herself. I feel sad for her.
I was at a party once at my friend's house, and
Oh, my poor vajayjay.
And they always make fun of me for this, but it was a very learning curve for me.
Yep.
I'm sitting there, and
I feel like I'm about to make fun of you for it, Georgie. Just the way you said that. that was like a magnet of come here and make fun of me.
and all my friends are having fun. And I'm noticing that this girl's behavior is trying to impress the men that's around her.
Yeah.
And she starts trying to do drugs. And I looked at her and I go, sweetheart, And by the way, that's dangerous, right? Calling a girl sweetheart now is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And it never comes, like, my father, I have to tell him to chill because he'll be like, sweetheart, honey. And I'm like, yo, chill. You can't say that shit no more. And it's so heartbreaking because my father looks at them like their daughter.
These are different
You know,
times.
and so just know, if I did say sweetheart, I was looking at it from the eyes of my own father. So I go, sweetheart, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And she lost her fucking mind on me. And she started freaking out. Everybody's like, yo, you can't say that, blah, 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 this and that, right? Okay. She freaks out, leaves, and she says something that broke my heart. The man was like, listen, you got to go. You're freaking out. You're causing a problem. They're not going to kick me out, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to kick me out.
Yeah.
But they're going to kick her out. And the thing she says, she goes, no, it's fine. I'll suck your dick. So right there, I realized that she was put in positions her way out.
Yeah. That's her value she can offer.
Broke me. Okay. The next day, I asked the judge, what happened to that girl? He goes, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't heard from her, and I'm trying to hear from her. I'm freaking out. So my heart drops. I go, hey, if that girl killed herself, I'm going to really, it's going to take me a lot to get out of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to know that weight was on me.
Of course.
And then I start going back. Should I have pulled her aside? Should I have done this and that? Finds out she put herself in rehab.
All you said was you shouldn't do that. Shit, you're just offering some friendly fucking advice.
It took one person
Wow.
to question
Wow.
what she was doing.
Yeah.
See, the power of men is no. The word no. Stop. No. Don't do that. Okay? That is the power of men that society has forgotten about. Not just forgotten, but it's been intentionally pushed out of the picture because they want men to forget about the power that we have, and that power is no. All these weak men running around that can't say no. They just say yes to anything girls want. You know, start saying no a little bit. See what happens.
For her to question
Yep.
what she was doing.
Yep.
If you feel like somebody you love or your neighbor is doing something that you know in your heart, hey man, like, you don't need to be doing that. We've been put in positions to be like, don't be that guy.
Yep.
But be that guy. Because you have no idea how catastrophic her life could go off on if you just asked her one fucking question.
That's right.
Hey man, what are you doing?
Yep.
You don't need to do that.
Peer pressure can work positively also.
That's why I circled back to that.
And it's actually very interesting because when somebody knows you're right and they know they have a problem or they know they've been wrong, they usually react with anger. That's why she got so angry, because she knew you were right.
She was defensive.
She was defensive.
I realized that the worst
Women
parts
do
of
that
me,
the most.
I do that the most. And by the way, I'm a very feminine guy. I know that. I grew up with like a sister. I had a lot of girls around me. During COVID, I was locked up with.
I was raised up by women. But women. Mostly. 90%. You, Georgie.
6 girls. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Turns out, so sensitive afterwards. Everything was hurting my feelings. Everything. You are who you hang out with, bro. You know how many times I'd be like, how dare you? And then I was like, all right, I need to chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like I always want
So sensitive. So sensitive.
to conversate about shit. Like, how do you fucking feel about, like, and like, you know, I realized maybe his feelings don't matter. And I need to move the fuck on.
Yeah.
But I found that really funny. Okay, so we circle back to
Then I realized, like, hey, maybe fuck my feelings.
the leader of the house. Okay, what else is the foundation of a good home? How can a man who doesn't have a father, who's made mistakes, who hears your voices, now you move the anger, can now properly understand the language of love?
Yep.
Look within yourself for your inner divinity, okay? I mean, the outside world is meant to show you the divinity within yourself, okay? If you can't see the divinity in yourself, that's what the outside world is there for, is to show you that you are a co-creator within the Godhood. You are a son of God. Every single one of us, every single light seed is a son of God, okay? And every single sentient singularity is a light seed being delicately carried by the darkness. The darkness is not at war with the light. The darkness loves the light. The darkness created the light. The darkness protects the light, okay? Without light, darkness is lonely. Because darkness is perfect oneness. Darkness is no movement, okay? No movement in the perfect dark void. And only by the creation of light and the allspark, creating the light seeds, do you have movement and dimensions and the omniverse, creation. Roll with it, Janky.
Coming from a loving place.
Yeah.
He understands. First step.
Well, I believe in actionables. In fact, actionables is probably the word I type the most on my phone.
Actionable?
Yeah, maybe if I press A, actionable comes up.
Doing things, motherfucker.
Because when someone tells me anything, my answer is actionable. So if they come along and they say, Andrew, the Matrix is attacking you, they're deciding they're going to print a new story saying you've done X, Y, Z, and you're going to be accused of X, Y, Z, da-da-da. I don't like, oh my God, that's terrible. Why would they do that? Da-da. Pointless. Completely actionable. What do we do about it? What can we do about it? If nothing can be done.
Because as creators, God created the creators, and our purpose is to create. So when you are not creating, okay, you will be depressed. And the only way to move forward is to do things and to create. Now, when you are creating in perfect alignment with your own self, that's when you are the most happy. But when you are creating and you don't have a strong sense of self, and you end up creating for other people's creations, yeah, you're still creating, and that's still better than not doing anything, but you will have an inherent depression growing in you because you know that you have something beautiful within yourself that you need to be bringing to light from within your own being, and instead of creating things to complement others' beings.
Then let's just put it in the this is going to happen bank, and let's consider it for future moves, and let's stop talking about it. If something can be done, what can be done? Who's going to do it? How long is it going to take? All I care about is actionables. So when I talk to people at home, and I have all these young...
That's because action is, I mean, that's the only... Life is motion, okay? When you stop moving, you start dying. So... like when you're just sitting around not doing nothing all day, that is just essentially, praising, not capitalizing on your own divinity. Okay.
Guys, I get thousands of emails a day, thousands of DMs a day. People go to my website, pt.4, they message the live chat for help. How do I sit and try and explain the very nuanced and complicated subjects of life and masculinity to 16-year-olds who I've never met in a nation that might be completely different to mine geographically, politically, and socially? And I believe you do that by giving them actionables, giving them things you can do. So I sit here and I say, and when I preach the things I preach, I want people to understand why I've chosen them. I don't think anyone's life will get worse if they train hard and get stronger. I don't see how your life can detriment from that. Maybe you could find some extreme scenario.
No, because working out keeps you healthy. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that, Tate.
But as a general rule to everybody, go gym, you're a weakling, go get strong.
Yes.
I think that's a good general point. Same thing
So
with...
first is to fix your temple.
First point, absolutely. The first point is to improve your body. It's the first thing you can do. So when you're asking me, the man who has no father and he wants to live a good, righteous life inside of his home, I don't know all of his background. I don't know his capabilities. I don't know his mental state. I don't know where he lives. I don't know anything. But I know that if he gets stronger, he'll stand a better chance of doing it. Because you also learn mental discipline by doing that, which is also a good thing to learn. When I teach people saying, listen, you need to go become as rich as possible, the reason I'm doing that is not just so that you make money, which is the time and energy of other people. It's also all the lessons you'll learn along the way. You're going to learn how to manage people, manage staff, manage stress. You're going to learn how to talk confidently and go to meetings. You're going to learn how to be organized and on time.
Meetings, fighter. Just overpronouncing the T's all the time, it kills me. Fighter.
You learn how to be punctual. You learn a bunch of things if you learn how to make money. So I say you need to go get as much money as possible and become as strong as possible. Because I believe if you do those two things and start to succeed in them, extrapolate and take all of the lessons from those two things and apply it to anything, including a relationship. It takes discipline.
Thank you, Tate. Those are excellent fucking points, bro. I appreciate it, homie.
It's commitment for a relationship. It takes
People get lazy when they get in a relationship.
Absolutely. So if you're a disciplined person who always goes to the gym, if you're good at managing stress and controlling your temper from high pressure business meetings, both of those things will apply to your relationship and make you better at running a household.
100%.
So that's why I teach the two things I core teach. In fact, I teach three things, but I teach...
Well, even the body, just to circle back, you have muscles, I can see that. Did you ever feel pain from growing those muscles?
Absolutely, yeah, it hurts.
So that's also a factor of it, and I agree with you. I think a lot of people that feel like that once they take themselves from I feel like shit to like, oh, I feel fucking great, they realize they could put that energy other places.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
Yep. And the third thing I teach, which I think is extremely important and lacking in the world today, is brotherhood. I think that men have always kept men accountable. You just talked about living in a house with 6 women and how it changed you. Imagine you lived with 6 warriors.
Destroyed me.
Imagine you lived with 6 men who were training for UFC fights. Imagine the men,
Dude, no, so this happened. I swear to you this happened. I told God, I go, God, I reflected. This is a problem. Randomly, one of my friends from Chicago,
Yeah.
this motherfucker is deep in the ghetto of Chicago.
Yeah.
So when I mean a man, like you look at, he's 6'5", you look at him the wrong way, he'll eat you.
Yeah.
The energy he has is, I'm going to get it done. My word's my word.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be at the gym at this time. I'm going to be there, blah, blah,
Yeah.
okay. He came in the gym. Guess what? I can't miss gym no more.
That's right.
Why? What the fuck's wrong with you?
That's right.
I was up at 6. You slept until 12. You can't go to the fucking gym. And now I'm sitting here being like, yeah, he's fucking right. I probably should be in the gym.
Yeah.
So it does push me.
Yeah.
You know what we need? We need, I love when I play, I'm sorry, I'm losing the word.
It's the power of suggestion, okay? And the power of suggestion is so strong because manipulating perception. And the power of suggestion is all around us, okay? And we have the choice what suggestions we choose to give life to with our perception, all right? But just that in itself displays that we are co-creators within the Godhood. Every single sentient singularity creates their own reality as they observe it. Okay, you have the reality of the earth itself, but then every single person on the earth, through their divine connection, is actually creating a whole nother reality through their perception. And the government knows this, and they actively use this against the people. It is time for the people to realize this and start taking back our sovereignty from the government.
But when competitiveness,
Yep.
I love being competitive.
Absolutely.
I love being competitive.
Masculine accountability. And you know what else is with men? Because men are different than women. You talked about how you lived with women. They were all talking about feelings, etc. You know what's a fantastic motivator for men? Shame. I'm telling you now, it works. Shame. If I'm around my house and someone was getting fat and all of us were to go, you're a fat fuck. What are you eating that for?
Big old fatty McFat fuck. That's my favorite. You big old fatty McFat fuck. And I'm usually saying that to myself.
I guarantee they train. Shame works with men. And you talk about this, and this is the reason I promote brotherhood. The reason I am the man I am is not just because I'm so fantastic. It's because I, even now, to this day, live with 6 men. I live with my fight coach. I live with my brother. I live with some of my old friends I've had for 20 years. We live in this big-ass compound, this huge house. If I wake up and my brother's been training an hour and a half, I feel so annoyed and angry and guilty that I have to go and beat him now. So that competitiveness keeps us constantly at edge. People say me and Tristan are best friends and our brotherhood is fantastic, but it is based on competitiveness. But we don't compete against each other. We compete to prove a good teammate in the battle against the Matrix.
How do you get there? Because I've seen a lot of men get torn up by that. So how do you get to a healthy way where we're competitive, but it's not going to destroy our relationship?
Well, you have to understand that there's enough outside enemies. You have to put your ego aside and say, look, there's enough people who already want me dead. We're the same blood. Can't we at least unite against all the people who want me dead? I want you. I'm in competition with you, Tristan. I want to beat you, to prove to you I'm a fantastic teammate to you. As opposed to I want to beat you because I don't like you. And it's a different mentality. And we'll sit
That's so goddamn beautiful, Andy.
there, and my brother and I are in constant, endless competition, but it keeps us sharp. So masculine competition is super important, which is why it's the third thing I teach, which is brotherhood. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you find some guys who have their game right, your game's going to get straight.
You know what? Y'all Muslims are lucky to have Tate. You really are. Do you know how many conversions to Islam there are over Andrew Tate? I mean, I'm just guessing, but a bunch. You ain't gonna get me, buddy, but I mean, you'll get a bunch of the other ones. Don't worry. Y'all don't want me though. I mean, just look what I'm doing to Christianity. I was raised up around Christianity mostly, and see how that worked out for them.
It's as simple as that. And I think if you take any man on the planet in any situation, in any scenario, and you tell him to become as strong as possible because of all the lessons he's going to learn, become as rich as possible because of all the lessons he's going to learn, plus obviously being strong and rich are benefits, plus find a network of brotherhood of men who are accountable to themselves, and by extension accountable to you. If you're accountable to yourself as a man, you're also accountable for your friends. I don't want loser friends. I don't want dickhead friends. If I had a guy I really liked who started being a dickhead, I'd try very hard to fix him. And if I couldn't fix him, I wouldn't be his friend anymore. I'd say, stop that. We don't do that.
Yeah, just like with Aiden Ross. Andrew Tate exercised his power of no, I'm done. Towards Aiden Ross, he's like, I'm done hanging out with you. We are not aligned. You are not even trying to be your best self. And I believe that Andrew did that, just to show tough love. Just to say, hey, look, man, you're not doing the right thing. Trying to be a good big brother to him. And I'm almost running out of light here. I haven't had electric in 8 years, so when the light goes, then I ain't got no light. So I'm just gonna. Damn, only 36 minutes into this out of an hour and a half. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna have to finish this thing tomorrow. It's been fun, y'all. It's been fun. Andrew and George Janko, good threesome. I appreciate it. Thanks for rolling to dark light, y'all. Appreciate it, man. Just doing my thing, talking shit.